Hey folks, Sin here. Today we have something a little different. Been working on a Jeskai Spirit deck. The Spirit Tribal, I think, has a lot of potential, but it's been difficult to make a coherent deck out of. I think the main issue so far has been mixing just red-white, so Boros colors, or Lorehold, depending on the format, um, has proven to be not quite so effective. In the current meta, it just runs up to too many things that are too fast, and it can't compete with the size and width that it meets from a deck standpoint. Then on the more control side, so like some of the Golgari, Demureless, stuff like that, is it even? It just kind of gets shut down a little too easily. So I've been playing around with the idea of going Jeskai colors with it and kind of fitting a draw counter package around the Spirit Tribal thread. And we're not using too many spirits in the deck, but we are combining it with Hofri Ghostforge. So if you're unfamiliar with the card, it is 3 red white. Spirits you control get +1/+1 trample haste. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types. And it has, when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the graveyard. So up front, that will take Galazeth Prismari, for example, and if they were both in play and Galazeth dies, that will bring Galazeth back to the battlefield, giving us another treasure, but also making it into a spirit, which will give it +1/+1, trample, and haste. So aside from Hofri here, we have Lorehold Command, amazing card. One of my favorite from the Strixhaven set. Choose 2, it's an instant, 3 red and white. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token, so that fits in perfectly with what we're doing. Creatures you control get +1/+0, gain indestructible and haste until end of turn. The haste a lot of people forget about, but that can be a game changer and winner right there. Otherwise, the +1/+0 and indestructible also can be a game changer. So you can create your 3/2, for example, and as your second choice, +1/+0 for indestructible, chump block, where you don't actually lose your chump, they do, sticks around. Or you have a series of creatures and then you give them all indestructible and block your board out. Another common choice is the Lorehold command deals 3 damage to any target. Target player gains 3 life. And then finally sacrifice a permanent, then draw 2 cards. So even that one can be extremely helpful when it's kind of later in the game, you're low on card count in your hand. You can sacrifice a land. If we have Hofri out, we could sacrifice maybe like a Galazeth, get some card draw. Then around that, for excuse me, for the spirit package specifically, we have Professor of Symbology. This one is not a spirit, but the value of this card, what it brings to the table, is incredibly high. And we're pairing that with, theoretically, Hofri, so we can get value repeatedly out of it. So if it dies, comes back in, we get to learn again. Now it's bigger, it hastes, it has trample. Skycleave Apparition, this one is a spirit. When it comes into play, so non-token permanent that we don't control with mana value 4 or less gets exiled, and then when it leaves play, Skyclave, the owner of that thing we exiled gets an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the value the mana value of the exiled card. So that fits in again with what we're doing. It also gives us a little removal. Vega. So this one is an interesting choice. It's a bird spirit, so it fits in with the spirit theme in general. Up front it is flying, which is nice. And then whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. So at first you would think, just like Saw It Coming, Behold the Multiverse, Doomscar. But this can also work with expressive iteration. If the card we choose to exile, for example, is a spell and not a land, when we cast that, whatever it is we just exiled, Vega will trigger and we'll get card draw. So it's kind of a sneaky way to use expressive iteration to gain additional card draw if we want or need to. And then we have Venerable Warsinger. So this guy has Vigilance and Trample. He's a 3/3. And then whenever Venerable Warsinger deals combat damage to a player, you may return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of damage Venerable Warsinger dealt to that player. Excuse me. So if he comes in unblocked and deals 3 to an opponent, we could get back Vega, Skyclave, Professor of Symbology, straight up. Amazing. If he's being buffed with Hofri Ghostforge over here, now he's a 4/4, he swings in, he could get back Galazeth. So this is an extremely powerful card. And then once you start recurring him with the Hofri combo, lots of value there. You can just start bouncing your whole board back every time he's attacking. And then to surround these guys, excuse me, we have expressive iteration. So card draw, dig, search ability, rip apart. So some direct damage, 3 to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact or enchantment. That second option comes in quite a bit. Very helpful. 2 Saw It Coming, so just 2 straight up hard counters. 3 Prismari Command, extremely versatile utility card, can help us ramp with creating a treasure, can give us card draw, can deal 2 damage to any target, so we can hit a player if we just need a couple more points of damage, or destroy an artifact. So if there's a troublesome artifact on the opponent's side, we can get rid of that as well. Behold the Multiverse, so scry 2, draw 2, pretty much self-explanatory. And lastly, the Doomscar, so destroy all creatures, right? So that may not seem like it makes much sense, excuse me, because we are playing so many creatures. But the point of the deck in general is eventually to use Hofri for recursion. And he will work even if you Doomscar. So if you have Hofri out and let's say a Skyclave, a Venerable, and a Galazeth, if you were to Doomscar that board, you would get back a Galazeth, Skyclave, and Venerable. They would no longer get his +1 trample and haste, but you would get copies of them all back into play. So that will happen even if there's a sweep and he's in play. Whatever else is next to him, you can choose to use that exile effect from him and get copies of your stuff back. So it's like a sweep protection inherently. And then elsewise, there's just so many go wide boards. Sometimes we're just going to get outboarded. Our board is not going to be able to keep up. And having the ability to kind of hit reset and then let our generally very high value cards like Venerable Warsinger, which is another way we can start recurring creatures back that have been killed, swept, whatever, from the graveyard, get them back into play, get our Hofri out, do some lore hold commands, and just kind of grind out the rest of the game that way. Then on the learn board side of things, we have environmental sciences, reduced to memory. So exile, target non-land permanent as controller creates a 3/2 red and white spirit. There may be rare rare circumstances where we would use that on something on our side. So for example, if we maybe have created a treasure token, we could use reduce to memory on it, exile it, and get ourselves another spirit, which Hofri could then buff, right? Teachings of the Archaics, card draw, start from scratch, destroy target artifact, or deal 1 damage to any target. I have I have killed opponents with that 1 point of damage, which is hilarious. 1 spirit summoning, so just in case, again, we need some extra bodies on the board. It's a spirit, fits into what we're doing. Introduction to prophecy, so scry, in case we need to do a little top of deck rearranging, and then draw a card, and then a mascot exhibition because mascot exhibition. So this is kind of the layout I'm going with. Let's take this out for a spin and see how we do. So this plays kind of like a cross between a mid-range creature deck and a control deck. Its tempo is a bit strange, but it has a lot of ability to bounce back from not great board states, sweeps, just kind of strange things that are happening in the game. Let's see, we have kind of an odd hand here, but I think we'll keep it. We'll start off with the Frostboil Snarl here. So we'll start off with that. Okay, then we'll play that and foretell our Behold. Okay, opponent's going wide pretty quickly. So normally we would obviously want to expressive here, but we may need to take out something here. Let's make a blue with that, and then give ourselves a little ramp. I think we'll take out the Clarion. Okay. Hofri is not super helpful here. So let's start with an expressive. None of these are particularly helpful. But that into the library. Outside. Yep. We will show off our planes again. Let's see if we 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we'll try to chump and be at 1. Interesting. Afraid to lose the creature. Get that in play. 2, 3. Doesn't give us much room here. Don't have any creatures in our graveyard. Cast a Vega. Okay. No attack. Unless they just attack super bizarrely, there's really no way we're going to win here. Yeah. So, might as well just actually kill some things. I always like that better if we're gonna die anyway. Well, we would if the first strike wasn't there. Alright. Fair enough, opponent. Let's see what they have in store for us next. Okay, this is pretty good. Got a Professor in here, Iteration, Prismari, Galazeth. So we will keep this. Start with the white here. Then we can do blue, red, or white if we need white for like a Doom Scar. Okay. Nice. Let's see. 2, 4. Might as well keep rolling on making sure we have our land drops here. I do not want to help them ramp, so we will not block that. Snarl. Okay. Get our land. Okay. Skullport. No attack, because I want to be able to block in and further ramp if we go in. So let's bring out Galazeth instead. No attack. We're not going to assist their ramping effort here. Okay, 5. So they could go for a gold span here if they have one. Yep. Okay, we're not going to block any of it. So they might have like a deadly dispute, and they're trying to determine if it's worth going for it or not. All right, we got a Hofri. That's very nice. Get that in play. Okay. Hopefully they don't have direct removal. No attack. So a Soul Shatter would be unfun for us at the moment. Or any targeted removal, really. Alright, Immerstrom. Not ideal. Alright, so they're loading up on creatures, so they have plenty to feed into Immerstrom. Alright, let's get our block on. Alright, so now he's getting that buff. So he's a 4/5. Because he's a spirit. Okay. Let's go with an expressive here. See what we dig up. Ooh, that's very nice. Deck. Exile. Let's bring out another white. Alright, we will leave that guy up. 3, 4, 6. Alright, we will not attack with anything. I'm going to see what our opponent will do here. If they attack in next turn with both of these, we will probably just block the gold span. Although if we block the Immerstrom, it'll initially get +1, and then they'll have to sacrifice another creature to give it indestructible, which would be nice for us. Okay. That is annoying. Yep, 4/4. Block and block. Now we will lore hold. Right, so we're going to deal 3 and give them all a buff. So we'll kill the Kalane. And we'll give our guys +1 and indestructible. Okay. Hornet is taking their sweet time here. That is unfortunate. Alright, so we will deal 2 and draw 2, discard 2. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Alright, we can do both of those things. 3 damage. Okay. Now we're gonna Skyclave. Get rid of another one of those. No attack. We don't have vigilance. We need our blockers. And if they activate Faceless, that's actually kind of good for us. Because if we block with Skyclave, unless they deal with Hofri again, when it dies, they would get a 4/4. However, we'll get Skyclave back again, so we can get rid of the other Immerstrom that way. Okay. So they might have like a Dragonfire or something. Okay. Sure. So that was a mistake on their part that they don't realize yet. Thank you. And let's get a mascot. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Okay, we will expressive here. All right. Land. It's an awful lot of land. And pass the turn. Okay. No, we don't want to do the damage, even though it seems like we probably should. Oof. More land. That's not very good. Okay, swing in. Alright, let's see what our opponent's next move is. Okay. Block. Deadly Dispute, maybe? Okay, which... is good for them. Card draw. Let's see if they have another creature to follow up. Nope. Alright, we have counter support, so let's swing in for the win, hopefully. Yep. There we go. A little unconventional, but there's our win. Alright, let's try another one here. So as you can see, there's some tricky interactions that you can pull off because of Hofri, the Skyclave. It'll take care of a lot of problem cards for us, and with the Hofri, as I was kind of describing up front, and then we got to witness here in the game, Sweeper, if Hofri is in play, is not a game ender for us. We'll get those triggers and the creatures come back anyway. So it's a pretty powerful setup once you get him in play. Okay, get a white so we can Professor. Professor or Fortell. Saw it coming, I think. Alright. Get a red out. Get a Professor. Reduce to memory. Which we'll probably use on old growth if we're allowed to. Not ideal, but let me just make this trample here. Okay. So unfortunately when we reduce, we can't follow it up with a kill of any kind. That's not helpful for us either. We'll go for our double white here. And let's see. Deuce. Part. We could go for killing the werewolf. And we're taking 9 instead. I think we'll do that for now. Hope we fall into a land perhaps. Give us a better chance with Lorehold here. Okay. No such luck. Oof. Now I can't cast anything. And that's game. Alright. So I think from the games so far, it seems like we probably want to try at least one more Doomscar. And to get there, what do we remove? I think probably a Behold. So we'll try going up 1 on that. Let's do 1 more here. All right, so we actually have one in hand now. That's nice. And I'm sure this will be the game we don't actually need it. All right. Hello, opponent. Okay, we actually probably will need it. let's see, we'll go with another red there. Got that foretold in the nick of time. Got some blue on the table. Wipe the board. Okay. I think we'll wait. So it will probably use Prismari command to kill the boots of speed. Yep. Kill the artifact. Alright. Kill that guy because he's terrifying. Fair enough. Let's see. Let's get rid of that guy. And we'll foretell the shot coming. Swinging for 3. Kill that. Symbology. We will grab 2, 4, 6. Grab a start from scratch. And opponent is done. So that Doomscar certainly came in handy that game. So this is the deck. I think it has potential. You can play it in a few different ways. The spirit aspect, you know, having Hofri kind of recur the things gives you a lot of options there. So it can get you a long way. I think as a starting point, at least, it's an interesting take for Hofri in general and the spirit theme. So we'll leave it here for the moment. Maybe we'll pick this deck up again and do some more tweaking to it. But hopefully this has been an interesting idea for some of you out there, and just a different avenue to kind of approach the light spirit tribal / mid-range control, and finally getting Hofri kind of rolling into the format. So if you like the video and kind of our approach here, you know, taking ideas, spitballing more about you know, having fun, just trying ideas, playing Magic, kind of explaining what's going on, it'd be great if you could drop us a like. It really helps us out, and certainly appreciate it. And otherwise, questions, comments, please leave them. Happy to answer any questions and any ideas you guys have for new decks, new combos, cards you want to check out, have us take a look at. Please leave those as well. Always looking for new ideas. And with that, we will leave it here and say have a nice day to everybody out there. Thanks.